siege of Baghdad by the Mongols. The rise of Baghdad. In 762 AD, Caliph Al-Mansur founded the city of Baghdad on the banks of the Tigris River. Designed in a grand circular layout, it rapidly became the heart of the Abbasid Caliphate. With its strategic location and impressive architecture, Baghdad soon emerged as a center of trade, culture, and intellectual pursuits. The city's layout, with its grand palaces, bustling markets, and serene gardens, reflected its status as one of the most important cities of its time. A city of knowledge. Baghdad was not merely a political capital, but a beacon of enlightenment. The House of Wisdom, Beit ul-Hikmah, stood as its crowning jewel, attracting scholars from all over the world. Established under Caliph Harun al-Rashid and flourishing under his successors, the House of Wisdom was a hub for translating and preserving ancient texts. Subjects studied ranged from astronomy and mathematics to medicine and philosophy. The House of Wisdom was a place where the greatest minds of the time congregated. Scholars like al-Khwarizmi, who developed algebra, and al-Razi, a pioneer in medicine, worked and taught there. The spirit of inquiry and intellectual freedom made Baghdad a beacon of knowledge, drawing students and thinkers from diverse cultures. Baghdad's educational institutions were unparalleled. Madrasas offered rigorous instruction in both religious and secular subjects, fostering a spirit of inquiry and innovation. The city's intellectual vibrancy was matched by its cultural diversity, as it welcomed people from various ethnic and religious backgrounds, creating a melting pot of ideas and traditions. The libraries of Baghdad were filled with books on various sciences and arts, and it was common to see scholars engaging in heated debates in the city's numerous academies and coffee houses. Political landscape. The Abbasid Caliphate, with Baghdad at its core, had a complex and efficient bureaucracy. The Caliph, as the supreme leader, was supported by viziers and administrators, who managed the empire's vast territories. Despite occasional internal strife and political intrigue, Baghdad thrived as a stable and prosperous metropolis. The city's marketplaces buzzed with activity, drawing traders from across the known world. Goods from China, India, Persia, and Europe flowed into Baghdad, making it a crucial node in the vast network of Silk Road trade routes. This economic prosperity further fueled its cultural and intellectual achievements. Baghdad's government was not just about administration, but also about fostering a sense of community and belonging. Public works, such as the construction of mosques, hospitals, and schools, were undertaken to improve the lives of its citizens. The caliphs patronized artists, poets, and musicians, making Baghdad a vibrant cultural hub. The Mongol threat emerges. In the early 13th century, the world was witnessing the rise of a formidable power, the Mongol Empire. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongols had already carved out a vast empire, stretching from the steppes of Central Asia to the edges of Europe. After Genghis Khan's death, his successors, including his grandson Hulagu Khan, continued the expansionist campaigns. Hulagu Khan was tasked with subjugating the Islamic world. His journey led him to the heart of the Abbasid Caliphate, Baghdad. By 1258, Hulagu's army, known for its discipline and ruthless efficiency, was on the outskirts of the city. Causes of the attack. The Mongol attack on Baghdad was driven by several factors. Expansion of the Mongol Empire. The Mongols were on a mission to expand their empire, and Baghdad was a significant prize due to its strategic location and symbolic importance. Wealth and resources. Baghdad was a wealthy city with abundant resources. The Mongols aimed to plunder its riches to fuel further conquests. Political and religious motivations. Hulagu Khan was determined to crush the political and religious power of the Abbasids, who represented a major force in the Islamic world. Previous conflicts. There were previous skirmishes and diplomatic tensions between the Mongols and the Abbasids, which fueled the Mongol desire for revenge and dominance. Baghdad's weaknesses. Despite its grandeur, Baghdad was vulnerable to the Mongol onslaught due to several factors. Underestimation of the enemy. The Abbasid Caliph al-Mustasim underestimated the Mongol threat, failing to adequately prepare for the impending invasion. Internal strife. Political infighting and corruption within the Abbasid administration weakened the city's ability to mount a robust defense. Defensive shortcomings. Baghdad's defenses, though formidable, were no match for the advanced siege techniques employed by the Mongols. The city's walls, built to withstand traditional warfare, were breached by the Mongols' powerful siege engines. Isolation. Despite being a hub of trade, Baghdad was relatively isolated politically. The city had few allies to call upon for help against the Mongol threat. The siege begins. In January 1258, Hulagu Khan's forces reached the outskirts of Baghdad. Despite its fortified walls and a large population, the city was ill-prepared for the Mongol onslaught. Hulagu demanded the city's surrender, but the Caliph, underestimating the Mongols, refused. The Mongol forces, numbering around 150,000, began their siege. Using advanced siege techniques, including the use of trebuchets and other siege engines, they breached the city's defenses after a relentless assault. Despite Baghdad's formidable walls, the Mongols' relentless assault took its toll. The city was bombarded day and night. The sound of the trebuchets launching their deadly payloads echoed through the streets, creating an atmosphere of terror. Fires broke out, and buildings crumbled under the onslaught. The defenders, despite their bravery, were no match for the Mongol war machine. The fall of Baghdad. After days of intense fighting, the Mongols breached Baghdad's walls. On February 10, 1258, they poured into the city, unleashing a wave of terror and destruction. The devastation that followed was unprecedented. The Mongols systematically looted and burned the city, slaughtering its inhabitants indiscriminately. Men, women, and children were killed, and the grand city of Baghdad was left in ruins. The House of Wisdom, along with countless other libraries and institutions, was destroyed. Priceless manuscripts and books were thrown into the Tigris River, turning its waters black with ink. The death toll was staggering, with estimates suggesting that hundreds of thousands perished. The brutality of the Mongols was unparalleled. They showed no mercy, killing everyone in their path. The streets of Baghdad were filled with the bodies of the slain. The survivors, if any, were left to fend for themselves in a city that was now a shadow of its former self. The aftermath. The capture of Baghdad marked the end of the Abbasid Caliphate as a major power. Caliph al-Mustasim was captured and executed, signaling the complete collapse of the city's political structure. The destruction of Baghdad was a severe blow to the Islamic world, marking the end of its golden age of learning and cultural prosperity. The Mongols, having achieved their objective, moved on, leaving behind a shattered city. The once great Baghdad was reduced to ruins, its population decimated, and its cultural treasures lost forever. The economic impact was also devastating. Trade routes that once bustled with activity were now deserted. The city's infrastructure lay in ruins, and it would take centuries for Baghdad to recover. Legacy of the siege. The siege of Baghdad by the Mongols in 1258 was one of the most devastating events in medieval history. It not only marked the fall of one of the world's greatest cities, but also signaled a significant shift in the balance of power. The impact of the Mongol invasion was felt across the Islamic world, leading to a period of decline and fragmentation. The story of Baghdad's fall is a somber reminder of the fragility of human achievements. It underscores the impermanence of even the greatest civilizations and the relentless march of history. The lessons from Baghdad's fall are still relevant today, reminding us of the importance of preparedness, unity, and the preservation of knowledge. Baghdad, once a beacon of learning and culture, lay in ruins, a stark reminder of the destructive power of war and the transience of human achievements. The city's fall marked the end of an era, but its legacy of knowledge and culture continues to inspire and remind us of the heights humanity can achieve and the depths it can fall to.